Any closer to a decision on Mo possibly playing Thursday night?
We'll talk about how we did today in practice here in a little bit, and we'll see what his status will be. He was much more full in practice today. Was in some competitive situations and seemed like he responded well. We'll just see how he feels in the next few hours.
Let's play Cornell a lot on Thursday night just because he hasn't gotten a lot of those snaps.
We really haven't had those specific conversations yet. There's two schools of thought on that. He did play a ton of snaps in the game the other day, but he hasn't played that much in the preseason, so we'll have those conversations later today.
Jason, special teams, obviously your kicker's been very good, your punter's been good, but overall they haven't been good. Will there be more of an emphasis when you're cutting down to your 53 to maybe not necessarily keep the best particular player at the position as opposed to giving you, the Bill Bates type of guy that's a really good special team, 2 or 3 of those guys that can carry?
Yeah, I think that's always an emphasis, and that's really a big part of cutting your roster down to 53 players, and then who goes to the game, what 46 go to the game for you every week, their role on special teams, how many plays they're going to play, as opposed to keeping a guy who's a backup who's not going to contribute to your football team. Obviously, you want to develop position players. In the ideal situation is you're developing a position player, and as you're doing that, he's a real good special teams player for you as well. So you make a lot of those decisions. Nothing's cut and dry or black and white, but that's a big part of the equation. And you have to make personnel decisions to help your special teams. And we'll do that. We'll do that here in the next few weeks.
I'm sorry, maybe as a follow-up to that, with all the different packages that you played today that maybe they didn't have 20 years ago, 3 tight ends and facing 4 receivers, is that factored into not being able to, the guys that you typically, the taskers and all these other guys who are strictly special teams guys? Is that factored in? Has that changed?
Well, I think there are certainly special teams players on rosters all over the league. Whether it's a specialist, whether it's a guy who's an outstanding kickoff cover guy, I think there's spots for those guys. I do think they have to have some ability to go into a game on offense or defense to help you in an emergency type situation. The key to the personnel groups from our standpoint is those guys who are playing in all those different spots. What factors in to the decision about whether or not they're on your team is what their role is on teams. And it cuts a lot of different ways when you think about the tight end position. Tight end positions, depending on what the guy is he a guy who can run? Maybe that's a good trait to have on special teams. Typically those guys are bigger body guys than fullbacks are, so maybe they have more position flex on special teams in addition to what they're doing on offense. So I just think you have to look at the guy, what his role will be on offense or defense, and what his role will be on teams, and make your best decision. It's certainly a big factor, not only on our team, but throughout the league.